Thank you very much for joining me for this session of Dr. Plotzker's Mind. The Osher Institute, known locally as OLLI, has started its spring semester. I've been attending now quite a number of years. I don't really know how many, probably about 5 or 6. My course load is chosen in January for the spring semester, submitted on the day that they uh, accept submissions or within a few days of that. The format has changed mostly for the better since I first enrolled. Initially, we paid by course. Now it's a global fee, which enables as many courses as we want. Uh, a number of years ago, there was a scramble for popular courses. They had a first come, first served system, which served as an incentive to submit the choice preferences as soon as the opening season began. They changed that uh, a number of years ago to have a window of maybe a week or 10 days. All submissions and requests for the courses submitted within that time would have an equal eligibility for each course. You still get closed out of some popular ones, though the closure or the inability to admit people is done randomly rather than pressuring anybody to submit their course preferences prematurely. This semester, I signed up for a lot of courses, 7, which is the most that I've done. 2 are online, 5 are live. On Monday afternoons, I have an online course that only lasts 5 weeks. It is run by a former diplomat who is teaching about diplomacy. I've attended 2 of his sessions. They are top notch. Um, the Tuesday morning is continuation of something that I've taken before. It is conducted by my very favorite teacher, a retired scientist and marketing expert um, who has all sorts of personal interests. He's conducting a full year course on the evolution of the American concept of freedom. I think he's a little too dependent on Great Courses videos, as he is a superb presenter in his own right. But I would like to complete the series. On Wednesday, I enrolled in a very popular on site course about the Silk Road. Having attended the first session last week, I can tell that the presentations will be top notch. I am not real happy about the format. She basically gives a lecture, does not take questions. The lecture begins on time and it ends on time, while the audio visuals and the presentation uh, are flawless, or at least were last week. Um, I wonder about the advantages of driving in there to basically witness what is a talking head. There's a half-hour break, and then I attend a more interactive course on short fiction. It's been a long, long time since I've ever taken a course on literature, so I'm looking forward to this. There is some reading that should be done in advance, which I did for the opening session. Uh, those two pieces were very short. I suspect they will not always be so short. But the discussion was quite good. It was dominated by somebody I don't know in the audience. Uh, I'm always a little wary when an audience member dominates the discussion, but occasionally that has been me. We move on to Thursdays when I have two more courses. One is a continuation of one that I've taken in the past, though with a new series. The audience, half present in person in a very large classroom, the other half online, uh, watches a DVD about current affairs in the world. It is conducted by uh, an expert on international affairs. I do not know if they use the same expert for each series. And then there is a class discussion. There are pluses and minuses to this. The moderators are basically a troika. One is assigned to each session, not necessarily the most capable one on the subject for each session. And open discussions with 100 people kind of make it statistically likely that most of the people who are responding to what was presented are really ignoramuses who happen to be sitting in the audience. What I found last time is that while there are people who don't contribute a whole lot, for every subject, there is usually somebody sitting in the audience who has some professional level familiarity with what is being discussed. And my final course, I may drop. I've never dropped a course in all the years that I've been going there. The title of the course was Prosperity and Panic, which I thought was going to be based on a history of financial fluctuations within the United States. The first class hinted that that was not really what it was going to be. The instructor um, is a retired portfolio manager from a big bank. His opening class seemed like something that would be run by a stock picker and not run by a historian. I will just have to go another class or two and determine um, how long to continue. These sessions have a lot of advantages to me as a retired person. It forces me to be at a place at a time. I have to juggle my exercise schedule to fit it in. So far, I've been very successful at that. I do not have homework um, other than some reading, though in the past I've had to give some presentations, which took some effort. Those types of classes where one of 12 students is assigned to give a different presentation each week largely disappeared with the pandemic. So I am uh, acclimated for the first week, nudging myself into the second week, already planning for the spring break in March. I'd like to do something a little dramatic in March, and just have to see how it goes. It is a way to keep my mind agile when I no longer have the assignments that come with steady, demanding employment. Thanks so much for sharing this session of Dr. Plotzker's Mind.